FM brings you all the stories. Kdr FM News, proudly sponsored by MTN.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. But baby, how come you never call me? But now with MTN, I have a daily voice bundle. I'll call you every day. Yeah, yo, baby, don't dolo. MTN voice bundle. Yeah, yo, baby, don't dolo. MTN voice bundle. Yeah, yo, baby, don't dolo. MTN voice bundle neza bei dondoro okutera network zona tunga dakika 25 arshirinjira 10 zonka nyigasta emwe not star ibiri emwe hash otoraneho daily bundle ninga kozesa my MTN app ogambe aha bei dondoro aha kuba kuturi kugamba hamwe twine kizibira MTN enkora n'obushosholeke nibikuratirwa MTN nereberero kitongole kya Uganda Communications Commission.
Abati yansi malinyo tukabaikiriza kandi tuwagundamu na stampu ebyo bwijanja bikukora handwe yezikwawukana malimuka kuguka baine ebyome bikukebera omubiri gwawe biketegereze kikuterebaniza kandi nibakeberera hanu so omutwaro gumugonka baine omubazo gw'okuyigula ebinywa okuterwa omutwe nibajanja bebirwaire by'omutima ulcers pressure omusijja okutakira abakuru muhamu n'okuzimba ebigere okurumu munda nibakora ali amani gekiseija baino mubazi gwa mano gw'okwijanja bebirwaire bya maino nibasuubuza green tea
abakaruguza mubasanga offices zabwe nkuru buli kya kabiri kya katano kya mukaga hamuna kya sabiti aho Muzizi Road hayi na Stanbic Bank hanju ya Muzeyi Kisembo Akona House abanyamarunda babayo buli kya balaza hasanyuka band lodge
ababugwara mubatunge buli kya kasatu a executive bar and guest house omwameyo kuizigira abapuyo abatiyansimu basangeyo kyakana ha Pentagon Bar and Lodge otunulira offices za Apuyo Town Council
habwa nyamirimo yabwe nkure ya karuguza bakingura kuruga saha ibirezanye nkyakara kuika saha isatu ezekiro mu bichweke ebindi batandika saha isatu ezanye nkyakara kuika saha 11 rebagyo abantu nywena ni mwetwa kweija mukaba ba memba nainyo mukatandika kora na tianshi
kumanya bikukira hotel ha 0886 13 0400 na 0740 95 10 23
tianshi together we share.
For how Chinese bantu baingi muno ohulira kyansimba hano nkwata hamugongo ekifuba kikulemera oburumi munyingo mu baitu hati wekwata ba for how Chinese bano ni bayijanja banokira kimo ebirwaire no biraga nenkoro yawe yekikugu baine byoma ebya meridian therapy nibikonyera okwigula ebinywa kutereza emigongo ali nyaba kusasa nibakumara mu busase bona bwino munyingo hati nywa bakuzimbe bigere mugende mubayikire nibakora handwereza maiso nibajanja basukali harusazi okwetaga kusara size okendeza omunyeto gwine oine kizibu kyokusanyarara hamuna inywa abateirwe stroke niba batereza ni mugaruka okurungi muno aba for how Chinese hano mukaruguza basange ha muhanda gwa Kizizi ogugenda ha Vision hakiomba ko Kiakona House haihine ichundiro lya Magiteri yaka opposite Millennium Guest House rundi baterera ha namba zesimu 0 kinana na mnana nsanju na msanju asatu na mnana na 0 mwenda nkaga na ibiri kinana na isatu anna nemu for how Chinese hamuno bwijanja byo burungi.
Esaha zikire msanje zeihangwe ohulirize Kdr 10 fama akaire kanu nikakuleterwa
MTN voice bundles ezikutera network zona habei dondolo migasita 10 ibiri emu hash rundo yekonyeza my MTN app okome mu daily bundle habo kuba butukuba zaitwena titukwemerezebwa. MTN Uganda Limited nerolerwa Uganda Communications Commission.
A very good afternoon. It is exactly 1 p.m. My name is Deo Asiimwe. I welcome you to this broadcast of Kdr News. Now, the detail. In a significant gesture of strengthening ties and fostering collaborative efforts, the King of Toro, Oyonyimba Kabamba Iguru Rukidi IV, yesterday made his maiden courtesy visit to the MTN Uganda headquarters in Kampala. This visit, highly anticipated by both Toro Kingdom and MTN Uganda, underscores a partnership aimed at driving developmental initiatives in the realms of sports and health within the kingdom. The King's courtesy call to MTN follows a prior visit made by the MTN Uganda CEO and the MTN Uganda leadership team to Karuzika Palace in Fort Portal last month. The King, accompanied by the cabinet and distinguished kingdom officials, was received by the MTN CEO Sylvia Mulinge alongside the MTN Uganda Executive Committee members amidst great celebration. They then held a discussion of the ongoing upcoming projects between Toro Kingdom and MTN Uganda. In her remarks, Mulinge describes the visit by His Majesty the King as a testament to the robust relationship between the Kingdom of Toro and the MTN Uganda. Over the years, MTN Uganda has partnered with Toro Kingdom to improve health services in the move that saw the MTN Foundation renovate and re-equip the maternity ward at Kijura Health Center 3 in 2019. MTN Uganda has also been a staunch supporter of the sports as a means of promoting health, unity and youth empowerment among the youth in Toro Kingdom. In his remarks, the King thanked MTN Uganda for being a steadfast partner supporting his vision for the kingdom and the people of Toro at large. Away from that, a 30-year-old drunk man identified as Julius Bihanga has drowned in Lake Albert at Songa Lendu landing site in Buliso district. Julius Alan Hachiza, the Albertine Region Police spokesperson, says that Bihanga, whose body is yet to be recovered, drowned in Lake Albert last Sunday when he had gone to bathe. Hachiza notes that reports indicate that given his drunkard state, Bihanga could not stand against the strong lake tide that hit him, thus sweeping him offshore and drowned in the lake. The police mouthpiece warns the general public against stepping in the lake during strong winds with the high waves.
Was reported on 23rd and is still suspected to have occurred on 21st. So it is alleged that at around on the 23rd of June, around midday, the reporter received a phone call that one called Bihanga Julius, 30 years old, he went bathing on landings on the shores of Lake Albert, and it is alleged he was drunk. So while bathing, a strong wind came and swept him off. So the deceased went into deep waters of Lake Albert, and up to now has not been surfaced. So efforts are on to have him also, to have the body retrieved, and we want to encourage people to stop going to lake showers, especially when the waters are hostile. Because when you look at this month, our waters of Lake Albert are very hostile. You don't need to simply move when this water is still hostile. So let us stop entering this water when there is a lot of wind.
Away from that, State Minister of Industry David Bahati has met with a delegation of Chinese investors, encouraging them to establish factories in Uganda by highlighting the country's conducive investment conditions. The minister detailed the Ugandan government's ambitious plans to bolster industrial development through the construction of industrial parks. This initiative, he says, aims to boost exports to boost exports and reduce imports as part of a broader strategy of import substitution. Bahati also highlighted the economic gains Uganda achieved last year, noting that the country saved over $300 million through export promotion and import substitution efforts. He urges the Chinese investors to capitalize on these opportunities to increase their investments in the country. To sweeten the deal, he promised free land and a 10-year tax exemption for any investor who injects more than $10 million into the economy of the country, alongside a waiver of the import duty for machinery. Now over to Kampala, 2 fresh Irish potato seed varieties have been unveiled in Uganda following months of research by the Uganda National Agricultural Research Organization, NARO, and Kachwekano Zone Agricultural Research Institute. The varieties that have been named Narrow Pot 5 and Narrow Pot 6 are disease resistant, according to Jerome Kubiriba, the Director of Research for Kachwekano Zone Agriculture Research Institute. Kubiriba says that in addition to disease resistance, the new varieties are resistant to drought, have high dry matter content for processing, and are good for eating as well as short dormancy. He says that the production of varieties started 3 years ago in the areas of Chigezi, where Irish potatoes are both a staple food and a source of income for the farmers.
Potatoes that are the newest, narrow potato. That's when we say narrow pot, we mean narrow potato 5, narrow potato 6. Those are the 2 new varieties that are the most recent releases. And their main characteristics are basically 3. They are the more resistant to a disease which we call red blight that makes the leaves dry before they give us enough food for the potatoes. Even when you spray, you don't need to spray too much. Maybe 2 to 3 times instead of 7. The other thing is they have good processing characteristics. You remember we are now working for have the farmers produce for, of course, food, but also for cash. Crisps and chips. So we have potatoes which have good chipping characteristics and crisping characteristics.
Moving on, the National Environmental Management Authority, NEMA, has rejected calls from Parliament to compensate residents who had illegally occupied the Lubigi wetland. Citing current legal provisions, NEMA declared that all residents who established houses in the wetland are considered offenders and thus are not entitled to any compensation. These statements were made by Sarah Naigaga, NEMA's Legal Affairs Officer, during her appearance before Parliament's Committee of Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises COSASI, which is investigating recent evictions in the Lubigi wetland spanning Kampala and Wakiso districts. COSASI, chaired by MP Medad Segona, raised several questions to NEMA regarding the evictions. Segona further criticizes NEMA for not acting promptly, which he argued has led to significant losses, including reduced revenue collection by the Uganda Revenue Authority due to loopholes in regulation. He raises concerns about the constitutional legality of NEMA's actions, emphasizing the need for lawful taxation practices. As the investigations continues, Parliament seeks comprehensive responses from NEMA to address these concerns and ensure fair application of the environmental laws.
You are still listening to KDR News Broadcast. This is the news on the international scene.
For the news on the international scene, Kenya. Former Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta is saddened by the loss of lives in yesterday's protests and says he stands with the people. Kenyatta, in a statement released yesterday evening, says that it is the duty of leaders to listen to those they lead. Kenya is in the grip of nationwide protests against the proposed tax hikes, which is culminating in a planned total shutdown of the country. The demonstrations sparked by the Finance Bill 2024 have seen citizens rally under the banner of 7 Day of Rage. At least 5 Kenyans have been shot and killed in the protests by yesterday that swept the capital Nairobi and spread to townships beyond. The protesters, the majority of them are youth in their 20s, raided Parliament building and broke in before setting it ablaze. With emphasis, Kenyatta says that the current leadership of Kenya must speak to the people and not at the people. Kenyatta's statement was released shortly after President William Ruto addressed the nation and called the protesters criminals. Dear listener, as I wind up the newscast, a quick look at the top stories once more. King Oyo visits MTN head offices, hails partnership with Kingdom. Drunk man drowns in Lake Albert in Bulisa. Minister Bahati warns Chinese to invest in Uganda and talk to people, not at the people, Kenyatta tells Ruto. That's it. It is 13 minutes past 1 p.m. My name is Deo Asiimwe. I wish you the best of your lunch. It is a Wednesday. I wish you the best of it, and please keep with us. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. That is X, formerly Twitter. Then we are on YouTube, Facebook, as well as TikTok. Good afternoon.
From all over the world, local, regional, national, and international, Kdr FM brings you all the stories. Kdr FM News, World's proudly sponsored by MTN.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. But baby, how come you never call me? But now with MTN, I have a daily voice bundle. I'll call you every day. Yeah, yo, baby, don't know. MTN voice bundle. Yeah, yo, baby, don't know. MTN voice bundle. Yeah, yo, baby, don't know. MTN voice bundle neza bei dondoro okutera network zona tunga dachika 25 arshirinjira 10 zonka nyigasta emwe not star ibiri emwe hash otoraneho daily bundle ninga kozesa my MTN app ogambe aha bei dondoro aha kuba kuturi kugamba hamwe twine kizibira MTN enkora n'obushosholeke nibikuratirwa MTN nereberero kitongole cha Uganda Communications Commission.
Abati yansi malinyo tukabekiriza kandi twagundamu na stampu ebyo bwijanja bikukora handwe yezikwawukana malimuka kuguka bayine ebyome bikukebera omubiri gwawe biketegereze kikuterebaniza kandi nibakeberera hanu so mutwaro gumugonka bayine omubazo gw'okuyigula ebinywa okuterwa omutwe nibajanja bebirwire by'omutima ulcers pressure omusijo okutakira abakuru muhamu n'okuzimba ebigere okurumu omunda nibakora ali amani gekseja bayine omubazo gwa mani ogw'okwijanja bebirwire bya maino nibasuubuza green tea
abakaruguza mubasange ha offices zabwe enkuru buli kya kabiri kya katano kya mukaga hamuna kya sabiti aho Muzizi Road haina Stanbic Bank hanju ya Muzeyi Kisembo Akona House abanyamarunda babayo buli kya balaza hasanyuka Band Lodge
ababugwara mubatunge buli kya kasatu aha Executive Bar and Guest House omwamenyo kwizigira abapuyo abatiyansi mubasangeyo kya kana ha Pentagon Bar and Lodge otunulira offices za Apuyo Town Council
habwanyamirimo yabwe enkure ya Karuguza bakingura kuruga saha 2 za nyenkyakara kuika saha 3 z'ekiro.